Before, a CPS caseworker dismissed a Detroit boy's claim that his mother choked and wanted to kill him. And months before prosecutors say she did, state watchdogs were concerned that the agency was mishandling reports of strangulation.
But for more than a year, CPS has resisted calls to better train child welfare workers whose job is to keep vulnerable children safe.
Well, tonight, 7 investigator Ross Jones is taking what he's uncovered to state lawmakers who are calling for change.
I always say it, if Brandy doesn't like you, then something's wrong. She was the one who always wanted to be a parent.
Talisa Garcia was one of Brandy Pierce's closest friends. She remembers the day Brandy's first child, Zamar, was born.
He was precious.
And for all the wrong reasons, the day that he died.
He was advocating for his own life, and he was ignored.
The warning inside this Plymouth hospital could not have been more clear. With his mother in the throes of a mental health crisis, 8-year-old Zamar King told the CPS caseworker that his family had no place to live, that his mom whoops him with a belt, choked him with her hands, and wants to kill him. The caseworker wrote it all down in black and white.
If a child is saying that they're being strangled or choked, I would hope that that would warrant an extensive investigation.
But instead, the CPS employee wrote there is no preponderance of evidence of physical neglect. Zamar and his family were sent to a homeless shelter, and months later, according to prosecutors, Brandy Pierce would kill Zamar, burying him in this Detroit backyard. The cause of death, smothering and compression of the neck.
This child was pleading for help. This child felt that he was in danger. This child said the words, "I think my mom wants to kill me."
How any CPS employees could ignore a cry for help so clear might seem unfathomable. But more than a year ago, state watchdogs found that some CPS workers were mishandling reports of strangulation and urged the department to fix it. In August of 2023, more than a year before Zamar died, the Office of Child Advocate would open this investigation. The office helps to oversee CPS, and it was probing how employees treated the reported strangulation of a 14-year-old girl by her adoptive father. Despite the seriousness of the claim, CPS intake staff would not refer it for an investigation. The reason? Because the child didn't have any marks, bruises, or injuries. The child advocate dug further, finding that intake staff didn't know the difference between choking and strangulation, and that they only assign strangulation reports to be investigated if a child loses consciousness, can't breathe, or has a visible injury.
You are not going to have visible injuries in most of these strangulation and suffocation cases. You can kill someone with no external visible injury.
Casey Gwynn is the co-founder of the Training Institute on Strangulation Prevention, who says 85% of strangulation cases leave no visible injuries.
Nationally, I think the issue has been missed for a very long time. And as soon as somebody has put their hands around a child's neck or smothers a child, they have just raised their hand and said they are a killer. You cannot ignore that. You cannot wait to intervene. You cannot wait to train. This is life and death.
The investigation found that only half of the state's intake staff, the first point of contact when allegations are made, had ever been trained in the signs of strangulation. So last year, the child advocate recommended that all intake staff receive the training, and not just them. They recommended all new and current MDHHS staff receive it too. That would include caseworkers like those who came face-to-face with children like Zamar King. But more than a year since that recommendation was made, and more than 2 years since Zamar told a caseworker his mom wanted to kill him, CPS has taken no steps to train its staff. We shared that with lawmakers.
I don't know why any CPS worker that's dealing directly with these cases would not be trained in recognizing signs of strangulation.
Do you think a training like this should have already happened by now?
Yes.
It's not even scheduled.
I would love to ask the department why.
We did. MDHHS spokeswoman Erin Stover said, in part, that centralized intake staff are directed to assign all allegations involving choking or strangulation for investigation, regardless of visible injury. While half of intake staff never received the specialized training, she said they were later given hard copies of the training materials instead. Stover said that offering the training to other CPS staff could be possible down the road if funding becomes available.
It makes no sense at all. What is the life of a child worth? What's the liability of the state for the failure to intervene, resulting in the death of a child? That liability could run into the millions of dollars. It is shocking and stunning to me whenever any organization says, well, we can't afford to do this training.
Just last week, the family of Zamar King filed this lawsuit against the state over how CPS responded to his cries for help. Brandy Pierce, who has pleaded not guilty, is scheduled for trial in September.
We have a responsibility to Zamar that his death could make a difference.
There are other children out here. Let's use this as an opportunity to save others because Zamar mattered. Children matter.
The Department of Health and Human Services, which operates CPS, declined to comment on the lawsuit filed by Zamar King's family. The lawsuit comes at a time of transition for the agency. Elizabeth Hertel, the department director, announced just last week she would be stepping down. She did not give a reason. Her last day was today. But I talk to CPS employees all the time, anonymously, and they tell me, look, we've walked into cases like this and we're doing our best to figure out exactly what to do. We're not experts in this. A training like this would be helpful. They've not received it.
It sure would be helpful because even in domestic violence cases, they are flagged if a woman has been choked because police believe that is the time they're going to be murdered.
Incredibly serious.
So many red flags missed.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Ross.